How's it going, guys? And welcome back to your weekly NBA second round review presented by Beyond the Arc. And that is where me and Sully go and review everything that's been happening over the last week in the NBA playoffs and see how it is completely different to everything that we said was going to happen last week when we did the last episode of Beyond the Arc. Sully, how are we doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. A little bit miffed that the NBA app was preposterous and lied to me about Joel Embiid's Game 3 availability. I wasn't very happy with all of that. It's not good enough. You know, you can't be spreading out false information like that.
Because then it's
NBA.
ruining the episode.
Because then the
Add on
next day,
server and you're patting your up.
yeah, man. And then the next day, obviously, Embiid did come back, played Game 3, Game 4. We will talk a little bit more about that.
Mm-hmm.
These playoffs have been going mad, though, haven't they?
They have been. They've been crazy.
Each game going at least 6 games. We could potentially have two conference finalists announced tonight. In the Philly game, Philly Miami and Dallas Phoenix Game 6s. The other 2 games going to Game 6 too. So yeah, it's going down to
By
the wire.
Saturday, we could have our conference finals ready.
It's very true. That's very true. So we could be going straight into some conference final action this weekend. But you never know. We could be going to see some of our first Game 7s.
Which would be
So yeah, I think we'll get straight into that. But I guess before we get straight into it, let me ask you guys at home: do you want to avoid breaking the bro code? Then make sure that you're subscribed to Beyond the Arc.
I'm thinking, where is he going with this?
Legend has it, if you don't subscribe to Beyond the Arc, Ja Morant will tweet you and at you and say that you broke the code.
I heard that too, to be honest. I was actually hearing that like this morning. I was on the way to college and everything, and I heard that, and I was like, yo, I need to tell Sam because like we need to warn the people. So I'm glad that you mentioned it before.
It was. I forget if it was Shams or if it was Woj that dropped the announcement, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that is what will happen. So if you don't want to get abusively tweeted at by Ja Morant, then make sure that you're subscribed to Beyond the Arc. Make sure that you are liking and commenting on these videos as well. Get the engagements up. Make sure that you're sharing it around no matter what you're listening on. And yeah, without further ado, should we get straight into this Golden State Memphis series?
Let's do it, man.
You know, you were saying before we went on, you were saying we probably should be talking about how the Golden State Warriors are in the conference finals now, but never count out a Memphis side. You know, the good saying always, the saying is, isn't a healthy animal is dangerous, but a slightly wounded animal is also dangerous because you don't know what they're going to do. I've no idea if I butchered that, if I'm honest with you. But
I feel like that's kind of correct in a way.
Sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah. A wounded animal is more dangerous because they're fighting for their life kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
well, backs against the wall with the Memphis Grizzlies without their star man, Ja Morant. Got himself injured Game 3. Hasn't played since. Is ruled out for the rest of the NBA playoffs, is what I've been told. But, you know, knowing the NBA these days, that might not count for anything.
For Game 6.
Yeah, who knows? So, yeah, I mean, that's obviously it's pretty tough for Memphis to be without your star man. But as we've seen throughout the regular season, Memphis aren't utterly useless without Ja Morant in.
They're actually like quite good without him, to be fair. Which just shows like what a strong team they have, and to beat the Warriors the way they did last night without Ja kind of shows like those guys have it. He just brings more to the table, but I think they have enough to the table already, and it wasn't even just a win. It was an absolute blowout.
I would say, was that the game that you watched, or was it Game 4 that you watched?
I watched Game 4. I mean, it's mad because it's like out of all the games in the series, this has been the biggest victory out of all of them, which shows like this Memphis team have fight in them. And me personally, I counted them out. I thought, okay, that's it, it's done. You know, it's gonna end 4-1. I mean,
especially
they
after
tried.
that. Especially after that game four. Obviously game four was without Ja too, and Memphis were shooting up like they were making houses,
Yeah, it was
with
mad.
all them
It was
bricks. I
mad.
mean, Golden State won't really do much better, but in the end, Steph's 18 fourth quarter points, something like that,
Yeah.
came through. Obviously, he didn't have as big of an impact. Game five,
Mm.
Memphis ended up winning by at least 40. Am I right?
Yeah, but it was.
Something crazy like that.
I think that was. It was 39,
Right.
which is. I
Okay,
mean,
never
that's
mind.
still mad. But
Yeah.
I mean, everyone on. You could look at it in two ways. You could say everyone on Golden State had a poor night, or everyone on Memphis just did their jobs really well because they had the big three shooters shooting absolute bricks the whole game. Like Jordan Poole shot 16% from the field goal, 33% from 3-point range. Steph 40% and
Yeah, we
37.
said didn't really get many shots off this stuff that game.
Which is, I mean, that kind of shows they really did their job like as well as they could have because they knew they had to lock up the good shooters, especially Jordan Poole, who has not really been locked up by anyone in this whole playoff since it started. That was his worst game by a country mile, and it just shows like they can do it the way they've been doing it in the regular season. Can they do it for two more games though?
I mean, I personally don't think so. I think Golden
I
State
don't
wrap
think
this
so
up
either.
tomorrow night.
I
It's
would
got,
like
it's got to
I
happen,
would
man.
like for that to happen because I mean honestly I think that they need to be. I feel like the way that they should have wrapped it up last night and they didn't will get to them and they'll probably just go and smoke them
Yeah, yeah.
game six because this should have been wrapped up game five and I mean it's mad that it's even gone to game six especially
Mhm,
without Ja, like no one
mhm.
actually saw that coming. I remember saying to you straight away Ja's injured, it's done,
Yeah.
but it's crazy
I
like
mean, could this also perhaps go down to the fact that Golden State were without Steve Kerr
you
last
could
night?
look at it
Obviously,
that way. You could look at it that way because he was in
also
protocols.
he was also at Game Four, wasn't he? He was in protocols for Game Four too, right?
I bel I'm gonna say
I think he was. Yeah. So Golden
yes.
State didn't really have that good of a game in Game Four either. Just held the Memphis. They
Yeah,
locked
because
Memphis
he
in
got
quite well.
announced that he was in protocols midway through the Bucks Celtics game, which I
Right.
was
Okay.
watching, and then
Okay.
I messaged you like, "Yo, this has just happened right now," and
I mean,
then
and to be fair, I mean, I don't know if I'm alone in saying this, but I always thought that Steve Kerr was one of those coaches that was kind of carried by the fact that he had such a good team around him. But obviously, maybe these
it
last
shows
two games.
he is the glue of that whole team that no one really realized. Which, I mean, to say like obviously like having good players is one thing, but like for example, if you look at the Chicago team all the way back in the 90s, they still had Phil Jackson, who everyone knows Phil
Mhm,
Jackson is probably the best coach to ever be in the NBA,
mhm.
and I mean, like you have to have the players, but you also have to have the coach. I think you can have good players and a bad coach and not win, but you can have a good coach and bad players and still get something.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
think Steve Kerr's kind of showed it. Like he is actually a good coach.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, if you're a Sacramento fan watching this, Mike Brown, you're the person who you've announced as your head coach, who is at the moment the Golden State assistant coach, coming in and bringing his wonderful tactics to this Golden State team. Who,
Averaging
let's be honest,
98 points in 2 games.
let's be honest, 10 times better than your Sacramento team. No offense to any Kings fans,
Sorry, guys.
you can't be lucky. I mean, I don't even know if any of them exist, if I'm honest with you. But
Imagine
you
the
got
whole of the Kings team just watch our podcast.
Darren Fox. He's going to be the one tweeting me, not Jamarant. um, you got to be looking at this thinking, we're done.
That's scary. It's scary for them, not for everyone else. It's scary for them
Yeah,
because I mean, like maybe they saw, okay, Mike Brown's taking over. They all got hyped, like, okay, let's see what this guy's about. I mean, he's got probably one of the best, if not the best, scoring teams in the NBA. And with that, they're playing against Memphis, who are without their main scorer. So you think that they'd go and score like 190 points or something stupid, like they just absolutely smoked them, and the Sacramento team could watch that and think, okay, we're in safe hands. But no, he wanted to scare them. I don't know why. I mean, to average like 90-something points in 2 games with, like I said, one of the best shooters of all time, Jordan Poole, who's on fire, Klay Thompson. It's mad. That is really mad. Like, and it shows good players is one thing, but you need to have like the right, tactics and everything around you, because that's what you're implementing. And clearly, whatever he's telling them is it's not best. It's like Space Jam tactics or something.
But regardless of what we're saying here, it's Golden State in 6 really now, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, if that series goes to 7, that is mad, because I mean you could be looking at another 3-1 choke from Golden State.
Let's be honest. I mean, I think a 3-1 choke to a Ja Morantless Memphis Grizzlies is a little bit more embarrassing than LeBron James.
LeBron James on
Kyrie.
demon time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because at least that you can say, okay, it was LeBron and Kyrie. But this, nah. They can't let that slide. It has to end tomorrow night when they play. Otherwise, even if it goes to Game 7 and they win, they should still be ashamed.
Yeah,
they
definitely.
should be ashamed right now that they didn't kill it off last night.
No, yeah, I'd say that too. Yeah, I mean, they should have done. But in the end, they're going to be traveling back to San Francisco anyway, regardless of what happened in Game 5. So, they might just want to play that extra game in there. You never know.
Maybe they wanted to take it at home. I don't know.
Prolong Steve Kerr in the protocols, so then when he gets out, less games for Mike Brown to coach in the conference finals.
Because they don't want that.
On the other side, Suns Mavs. Last time we spoke, Phoenix had won the first 2 games pretty convincingly.
Yeah.
And we were saying potential perhaps sweep on the cards. We did think that the Mavs could get 1 game.
But it was like, it wasn't really, we didn't really believe it.
Yeah. But Mavericks ended up doing better than that. They got 2 games. And crazily enough, Chris Paul played awfully both games and Scott Foster didn't even referee any of them. So,
which is crazy. Maybe he implemented his officiating onto the other NBA officials, but which is really crazy because we don't normally see this kind of performance from Chris Paul when it matters.
Yeah,
and to say he did it like back to back.
Is the Chris Paul playoff choke potentially happening?
Nah. I don't think he can play like that for a full series or something. I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's the last 3 games because Phoenix did blow Dallas out of the water Game 5.
Yeah.
Beating them by 30. Chris Paul only shot the ball 8 times that game and picked up 4 turnovers. Had the plus minus. Obviously, the plus minus. I don't really look at a plus minus and think this is how good a player was. But technically, when you strip it down to its bare bones, that is how much you have impacted the game when on the court. His plus minus was only 7. So without him on the court, Phoenix were up 23.
That's kind of mad.
And obviously that's coming off of his 2 games in Dallas where he got his playoff career. I think he got his playoff career high for turnovers in a game in 1 half. And then got fouled out in the next game or something like that after about like 20 minutes.
That is mad.
But even without that, the 2 games in Dallas still close enough, you may say. Luka Doncic is good, but obviously he does need his guys around him, and I feel like they have shown up when they needed to in Dallas. And for that reason, maybe this series could go to 7.
That would be crazy.
I won't put it past them.
That would be probably the most shocking thing to happen, like in a very long time, because everyone, including us, we thought when it was 2-0, Phoenix had done it. It's calm, that was it. Lucas showed up like crazy, tied the series up. Phoenix only just took the lead, and I mean, who knows now? Now, it could very much go to 7.
You know what I kind of want to see? I kind of want to see Dallas take this game 6, and then Scott Foster referees game 7.
Imagine.
I just want to see. That would be like most viewed game in the NBA playoffs.
Oh yeah, it'd be up there, like, because everyone would find out. Oh my days, like that would be crazy. Oh damn! I mean,
Mhm.
that would be the perfect game to break the curse as
It
well
would.
for Chris
It would.
Paul.
I mean, and I personally think after these last three games, there is a very high potential that Chris Paul does exactly what he did against New Orleans. You know, he was kind of getting disrespected a little bit against the Pelicans. Jose Alvarado had his number a little bit.
Hmm.
And then in the closing out game, he pulled out that perfect field goal percentage game.
Which is
And
mad.
you're thinking maybe he could potentially do that again today in Dallas's home turf, send Dallas packing again. I think it'd still be a successful season if Dallas end up losing.
Yeah, I think them getting to the conference semis is successful, regardless.
First time under the superstar level of Luca.
100%. And I think for him it'd be good because he shows that if he's gonna have his commitment towards Dallas,
They're
they need
progressing
some.
well.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
need one. They are moving forward in the right direction, but also he needs help.
Hmm.
Like he will have shown it because I mean the guy's averaging something crazy in the playoffs while everyone else is averaging like 3 points, and just it's crazy. So he's really showing like I can do this, but I need just one. Like I feel like one more person, one more good player, and they could potentially have beaten Phoenix in seven.
Yeah,
They could
definitely.
take them in seven and probably beat them with one more like strong player,
Yeah.
and that's crazy to think. Dallas, who only need one strong player to beat the best record in the NBA regular season.
Hmm.
It's kind of mad
Definitely.
to think how scary they're gonna be if they have a good off season, which the chance of that is probably really high.
What are you thinking for this game tonight then?
I mean, I'd like to be an optimistic neutral fan and say that it's gonna be a Dallas win, but I don't know. I don't see Chris Paul having another bad game. No, I don't see him having four bad games in a row.
Yeah.
I just don't see that happening. So for that reason, I think Philly potentially will. I think they'll probably close the series off tonight.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think Phoenix could do that too. But again, there is a whole different level in Dallas.
Mm,
You know, their role players do step it up in Dallas.
100%.
So,
And the game is in
yeah, I
Dallas
mean,
tonight, so I
yeah,
mean
again,
that could.
this has been the series where home court advantage has been a thing.
Hundred
That and the
percent.
Miami game. So, I mean, I'm just a bit of a side note. This and the all of the other semi-finals. I'm just really liking the competitiveness in there. Like, no one's really given an edge, and it really is coming down to the wire in most of the games.
100%.
Obviously, we have talked about two blowouts in the last couple of games, but especially when we get onto the Boston Milwaukee series later on,
Mm,
that's genuinely been like one of the most entertaining, tightest
definitely.
series that's that I've witnessed as an NBA fan. Don't know about you, um, but I think before we go over to the East, bit of a pit stop away from the second round, and we'll talk about the two-time MVP of the league, Mr. Nikola Jokic.
Mm,
Um, I think in the end, I I have said this before. I wouldn't have been really mad if either Giannis or Embiid took it, and in the end, it was a pretty close vote. You know, I've the last few awards that we talked about, I'd always forget to actually like
yeah.
save the
Say
actual
the
voting
votes.
tally when I come across it on the timeline. But I finally I actually had a bit of common sense this time to actually look at it. Um, Jokic ended up finishing with 170 odd points ahead of Embiid below him.
Mm,
So close-ish. That's what that's 39 first place votes ahead of Embiid. Um, so in the end, when you look at that, over half of the first place votes, he's kind of won it pretty.
I'd say that's a pretty convincing win to be fair, but I don't know. Me personally, I'm not with it. I don't think it should have been a back to back from him. I'm happy for him,
Mhm,
and I think he is in the conversation of that top three. He deserves to be in there.
mhm.
I just think this year, I don't think it should have been him.
Yeah, I I think so. When you're talking like variety wise, I think Embiid, yeah, maybe, because I genuinely don't think there was much separating the two this year.
But like I said when we did the prediction video, either three could have won, and I wouldn't have been shocked.
No,
And I
yeah,
think
yeah, that's
like
what I said. Yeah,
I personally didn't I thought Embiid would win, but I'm not shocked when I saw Jokic win because he's still, like I said, he's still in that top three, and the level of competitiveness and greatness that those three have right now is crazy. Like,
hmm
and either of them could have taken it. Giannis could have taken it. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if that happened either. But I think it makes the MVP race really strong for next year because
yeah.
I mean, we know Embiid's dying for it. Like, and to
I
be
don't.
honest, I really do think he should have got it this year. But
No, yeah, definitely.
mm,
But I think that definitely opens the door for next year because unless Jokic goes out there and acts like Wilt for the next year, that's like Wilt Chamberlain for the next year. There is no chance in hell they're making it. They're giving him a three-peat.
yeah, I doubt it. I mean, that would be because that would be like history. Surely, I don't think anyone's
No,
had three in a
it's
row
probably. I think it probably happened, but not for like a good.
a long, long time.
Like
Like,
probably since like the
definitely not since
probably,
we've
probably
been
since like
watching
the
NBA.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
Hundred
days. I'd
percent.
say.
Like,
Yeah,
not for at least a good 20, 30 years, and that would be like that would be probably one of the maddest things that could happen because
I'd say even more than 30 years potentially. Maybe more like
probably
in 40, 50. Yeah.
I wouldn't even be surprised because like there's always just so much competition every year, and even then next year I think Embiid's gonna go a lot harder, especially depending on what happens in this Miami series. Like we know they're down right now, but they're not fully out of it. I mean, Giannis, what happened in their series? I think Jokic obviously getting knocked out in the first round will he might want to come nice next
hmm
year. If then obviously we can't count out other people who might be in the race, like KD might come again. Like
Yeah.
it, I think
I'm gonna
next year
say,
is gonna be
and then
crazy.
you're looking at the people who are rising up. That's one thing I was gonna mention. The
Mm,
top five that rounded it out was Devin Booker and Luka Doncic, fourth and fifth, respectively.
which is I
Devin,
mean,
I'm liking the Devin Booker respect
Devin
in that
Booker
top
love.
five.
I'm really happy that he's there.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you can't count out a lot of people. I mean, if John Moran plays next year how he's been playing this year with some more, he might be in that top five too. Like it's good that the younger people are being incorporated into this vote as well. Like
hmm
don't get me wrong, and I love the greats. We're talking KD, Steph, LeBron, Kyrie, but I'm glad that they kind of making way for the younger guys while also still being great and still doing their thing. They kind of stepped aside, and now the younger people are taking over in terms of like the
Yeah.
face of the NBA and
Yeah.
getting these awards and everything because it's deserved. And I mean, next year it could be crazy. Like if Devin Booker makes his way into that top three, I mean, the conversations of things is gonna start changing, and I mean,
I personally think it's gonna be a little bit tough there because as much as Devin Booker might play so well, he's always gonna
mm,
have Chris Paul there as
yeah,
kind
no,
of
true.
a
Oh well,
kind of
you're
like a
playing well because you
barrier
have
to
Chris
stop
Paul.
him from hitting greatness. Like we know he can do it on his own. It's just the
100%.
way that I think a lot of the media will say, yeah, but he's got the point guard next to him. It's a lot
True,
easier to,
a
you
lot.
know, get a lot of points, get a lot of open shots when you've
Mm,
got someone like Chris Paul as your point there. But yeah,
100%.
so Jokic, I personally think is deserved. Um, you think Embiid, right?
I mean, I wanted MB to win, but like I said, either three
Yeah,
is
yeah,
deserved from all three. I
yeah,
wanted MB to win though, but
yeah.
I mean, it's a weird one. But I'm not mad that he won,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
Keeping with MVP topic,
Mm.
something that said this is something that never really happens. Something actually got released. Some important information got released before we recorded instead of the day between we recorded and when we upload it. Have you seen that? The NBA released all of the postseason trophies today,
No, I
including
haven't seen that.
including conference finals MVPs.
Wait, what?
So for the first time ever, there is going to be conference final
Conference Finals
MVPs.
MVP.
So obviously
That's mad.
The MVP of each conference final is going to get its own
So
award for it.
there's gonna be two.
I'm not sure if it's just for the NBA 75, yeah, or if they're
Might
actually
be.
gonna continue this on.
That's
But
mad. So is it gonna be like the best player out of the whole finals or per
No,
series.
so there's going to be Western Conference Finals
Mm.
MVP and an Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
That's mad. I mean, that's crazy. But that's good in a sense as well because, like, I don't. So, say for example, Golden State and Phoenix play in the final, and let's just say in 6 games, Jordan Poole has the best 6 games of his life, and he gets the MVP conference finals. Then they go to the finals, and let's just say they win the finals. It will probably won't go to him, but it's good that he got the recognition for how well he's
For
played
helping his
in the
team get to
yeah
this
to the
position, yeah.
finals, and because obviously like if we talk about the Warriors, like Jordan Poole has been one of the biggest reasons why they've gotten that far. So they'll be able to show their love to the person who's got their team that far,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
the finals MVP will be for who actually is the finals MVP. So I
yeah.
actually quite like that they've done that. I
No,
think
yeah, me
that's
too.
I think that that's good. They've redeemed themselves from all these awards they've been given and getting everything wrong. They've got something right. And well done, NBA. You've done it finally.
Big ups to Adam Silver. Shout out Adam Silver.
Adam Silver, you still need to fix that up though.
This guy, this guy. So after saying that, who do you reckon is going to get there out of Boston and Milwaukee?
Damn.
This has been crazy, and
It's
let's
been
be
the
honest with
best
you,
series by far. Like
Giannis has proven me wrong. He has proven me wrong to the
that's
max.
crazy. That is
I
crazy.
said before the start of the season, both of us said before the start of the season, before the start of the series, both of us said Giannis is going to have 4 near enough perfect games for them to even get 4 wins.
Mm.
And we didn't really think that was going to happen. But in the 3 wins that Milwaukee have had that have given Boston a 3-2 deficit, Giannis has had a triple double in game 1, a 42-point game in game 3, and a 40-point game in game 5.
I mean,
They're near perfect in my opinion.
literally. And he has proved us wrong, like by a crazy stat.
And he's made it so Milwaukee have a chance to close it out at Milwaukee at the Fiserv Forum tomorrow night, Saturday night.
That would be that would be something to be fair. I mean, it's Giannis though. Like I see them numbers and I'm like, damn. But then I see him and I'm like, well, who else
Yeah,
is
it's
like?
Giannis, yeah.
There's no one else that could do that. Like, and it just shows like how like there's just levels right now to the competitiveness that a lot of people are not reaching his heights at the moment. I just don't think like there's
Got to
anyone in
feel.
the league.
I feel for Boston in a way though, because I feel like they are doing very well in competing with them. They're
Oh,
closing out.
100%,
They're closing out
100%.
shooters. They're doing their best to contain him, but obviously they're not giving him as much respect as Chicago did in the first round, which is why the likes of Drew Holiday, Grayson. Although Drew's had some very good games in this series, like your likes of Grayson Allen, Bobby Portis, they're not getting as many open looks.
100%. And I
So
think
they are cutting that down a little bit, and it is helping them a little bit.
that as well shows like Boston in terms of defensively, like they are very good, and that's why they're still in this series. And I think we can't count them out. As much as Giannis has been amazing, and he only, like we said, he only needs to have one more perfect game,
Yeah,
which, as we know, is not a problem for him. I think Boston have been really well in this series. Like even obviously one of the games they lost, you saw it, I missed it, but the ending to that, it was only just like
buzzer
Boston
beater
only
level.
just lost, which is quite crazy to say. Like they could have easily, all it took was one like
And
tip in to go in, and
that game last night, uh, Boston had a chance to go ahead, but Drew Holiday locked up Marcus Smart and then stripped him of the ball on the way down the court for
crazy.
to preserve the win. So yeah, Milwaukee have been taking games, but they've been close ones.
They have been.
Um,
I think there was only one blowout win.
yeah, and that was like right at the start when
Yeah.
nobody played well. Um, and then I'm looking a little bit at how Giannis has acted in games that he's closed out,
Mm.
and well, they've been doing, he's been doing bits. I'm just gonna see what he put up in the game 5 against Chicago. But obviously, when the game 6 in the finals last year, he put up 50. He put up a 73% shooting night. Game 5 against Chicago. I think this is Giannis's first 50 piece tomorrow night of the
That
playoffs.
would be amazing. To drop a 50 piece in game 6 to get to the conference finals against the best team defensively in the NBA is GOAT level things.
Yeah, I
Which
think it's gonna happen. And then, genuinely, I think if he goes back to back this year, it really isn't long. Like, I'm talking like 2-3 years maybe before we start talking about him in the same breath
in the
as
conversation.
Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James.
LeBron.
He's the best player in the world right now.
Oh, 100%.
That's
100%.
that's
No denying.
undebatable.
No denying.
Yeah.
No denying. And I mean, I definitely 100,000% think by the end of his career, he's in that conversation. Where you put him, I don't know. But if he goes back to back this year, that's like a big, especially if he gets Finals MVP again.
And without Chris Middleton for
Most of the series.
some tricky matchups as well.
Mm.
It is crazy.
It'll be very crazy because, I mean, it's just mad like how dominant the guy has become in the NBA as well. Like, if you watch the beginning videos when he was really skinny and everything, and it's like how the way he's just transformed himself and his style and everything is just unbelievable. Like, I'm genuinely, I can never not be in awe when watching that guy play basketball as well, because he's just so like amazing. Like, there's literally people, nobody can stop him. Like, he just does what he wants. It's crazy. But I would fully not be surprised if they take it game 6. Giannis has a Giannis game and sends Boston home.
Yeah, I do think that's going to happen. I also think it's not even going to be close, personally. I think, as in, like, it'll be close enough that Giannis ends up playing for most of the fourth quarter, but they'll probably have, like, a double-digit barrier for the majority of the game, and just Boston won't be able to chip away at that, in my opinion.
I think when it comes to, like, for example, like when a game Milwaukee needs to win, they have usually taken it, like, without an issue. And to be honest, I'm with you on that. I don't see Milwaukee losing either. I'll be honest.
Although I do say, because obviously if it does go to Game 7, that'll be before the next episode. I do think if Milwaukee do drop this game against Boston, Boston will take it at the Garden.
Oh yeah,
7.
I can back that too. I just really don't see that happening. Like, I think that's very unlikely. But if Boston win today, they're definitely winning the series. I can back that too. I can back that.
Yeah, and they'll go on to play Miami or Philly. And props to Embiid, man. My guy's playing with a broken face, a broken finger. His leg's probably broken.
His team is broken sometimes.
99% of the time, he's playing with a broken James Harden. Like,
James Harden was fixed the other day though.
He was fixed. He was fixed for one game.
It was temporary fix.
And then broke again ahead of Game 5. But to be fair, I think the whole 76ers squad was broken that game. Setting up a pivotal win or stay home game in Philly.
Which is, I mean, that's the drama you like in the NBA. But, I mean, Embiid was showing out. Game 4 as well, Harden was amazing. I mean, that's the only game that I can say that for him in this playoff series. But
what's happened to him, man? What's actually happened to him? Because I swear earlier in the season, he was actually not awful for Brooklyn.
He wasn't all. He was. I mean, when the start of the season for Brooklyn, he wasn't awful. But like when he started for Philly, he was quite good, and it was to a point where I thought, okay, maybe he'll help Embiid, get this chip that he's been dying to get, or at least get closer to it. But damn, I mean, the fall off of James Harden this year has not been great. I don't think he's fully fallen off, but I think he's got a long climb back because, I mean,
does this show how great James Harden was in his prime, though?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That we're looking at him averaging like probably just under 20 points per game in this playoff series, which for a second option isn't awful. But when you realize that you're paying him, God knows how much every year, yeah, you don't want that.
As a guy who came into help the scorer
Give
score
you,
more
yeah,
because
give you a chance.
nobody else was scoring except from Embiid. It's not great at all. It's poor,
Yeah,
especially from the likes of James Harden. When you have the caliber, like the conversations he's been putting in the past, he should not be doing that, especially when it's playoff time and his team need him more now, probably more than ever in terms of his importance in a team this far in. You
yeah,
just,
definitely.
I mean, you expect him to do better. Embiid probably expects him to do better as well because we know Embiid probably pushed for that trade to happen because we know he wanted help and we know he wanted to get rid of Ben Simmons. So he must be thinking like, what's going on? I saw the best in this guy and he's really giving me nothing.
Yeah,
And it's crazy because I don't like seeing players who were once amazing just suddenly flop because the playoffs is where the best players come to play, and right now he's not coming to play, and
yeah.
it could be the reason his team or one of the best players in the league is going to lose out at another chance at a finals because the rest of his team ain't performing. And this year we wouldn't be expecting to say that because of James Harden, but unfortunately we are, and it's mad.
Mhm. Yeah. So looking at the rest of that series, Philly are going to win tonight. I don't think there's any disagreeing with that. Looking at games 3 and 4, which were at Philly, seeing that game 3, Jimmy Butler hit a 33 piece,
Mm.
and only one other Miami Heat player was in double digits for points. In game 4, Jimmy hit a 40 bomb, and only 3 other players in the Miami Heat were in double digit points. Jimmy really out here like it's the bubble all over again.
Jimmy fully is. But to be honest, I do disagree with you, Sam. I think Miami are going to close it off tonight. I think if they don't close it off tonight, they're going to lose the series. And I think they know that.
I
So I
think
think
the Miami role players always show up in Miami. I think Tyler Hero does show up most games, but obviously,
mm,
I think in Miami he does
this
bits.
series has not been amazing. It's
No,
been okay, but not
mm.
amazing. But to be honest, I think tonight is where Miami closes series off. And what has been an underwhelming series, but also it's provided us entertainment in the sense of once Miami were quite up, we thought, okay, Philly, like, are they going to come back? And then they did.
especially given that people were reporting that Joel Embiid was going to be out for the rest of the series.
Yeah, exactly. So it's given us highs and lows, but I think if you look at the whole like plot of it, I think it was kind of underwhelming. But I think tonight,
Yeah, no, I think
mm,
out of all of the series,
it's been the worst one.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's been the one that's had the less to speak about, really, in my opinion.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
in the Phoenix one, you've had Chris Paul's demise, in
yeah,
that some people like, some people hate. I mean, I'm personally on the hate to see it train. I want to see
yeah.
Chris win the chip this year.
Definitely. Never like to see Chris Paul doing bad. We love Chris Paul.
Yeah,
Get him on the
obviously,
podcast.
but Bucks Boston, very much the most entertaining one so far in terms of actual basketball quality.
100%,
And then
hundred
obviously
percent.
off-court antics in the Grizzlies one has been mental, to say
That's
the
been
least.
funny. To be fair, that has been funny. A whole series, but to be honest, like I said, if Miami do not close it off tonight, they're losing the series because I think Philly will just be on a roll then, and they'll be hyped because Embiid, we know he lives off the hype, and
I guess, but well, I mean, we've seen what Philly have been capable of in win or go home Game 7 situations before. Um, I'm thinking 2019.
I'm
I'm
thinking
thinking
Kawhi Leonard.
the sirens are around your head at the moment.
Oh
PTSD
damn!
flashbacks. Uh,
You're looking at it right now. You're looking up at
I am.
it.
For context, I've got a frame of that shot on my wall. Um,
It's because why
um,
not? It's literally one of the sickest pictures in NBA.
it is. I mean, it's one of the sickest games in NBA history.
Oh damn, yeah, that's true. But Embiid, he needs to show out because he doesn't want a repeat of that. He definitely doesn't.
No, but I think potentially. I mean, I think Philly will win tonight. I think Miami will take it in Game 7. Jimmy Butler
Really,
in a win or go home back against the wall situation isn't
hits
a
a
man.
corner, hits a corner three, and the ball bounces all over the rim.
No, but if that goes in, that's crazy because Jimmy Butler doesn't hit many of them.
Mm. I mean, that would probably be like the. I mean, if that happens, Embiid needs to retire because there's no winning for him. The
Most
NBA
illustrious
is
player in
just
the NBA. Yeah.
a curse.
Yeah, I mean, so I think, but for Miami to close this out, they're going to need a little bit more help from their role players, which I do think they'll get in a Game 7 situation. You like to Tyler Hero, he'll show up. Bam
100%.
Adebayo's been blowing hot and cold all throughout
Yeah,
this series,
yeah.
which has been a bit disappointing to see. Duncan Robinson, I mean, he hasn't really been given the chance
Mm.
to play. I mean, they're paying this guy 90 million just to sit on the bench and
I mean, we know
cheer on.
he can come with niceness when he wants to, but
It's just the defense, and obviously you need
yeah,
defense in the playoffs. Obviously,
especially 100%.
Duncan's a very good shooter, but
Yeah.
that's really about it. And yeah, I think that pretty much concludes what we've got to talk about. You got anything? Anything you wanna end this on?
I mean, this is what I'll end it on. I think when the next episode comes out, all of the series will be done. I think everything will be done on the weekend. To
Wait,
be fair,
yeah, I'm gonna say I think just like time
it'll be
wise, I
done
think
anyways.
they'll be done anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think by the weekend, all these series will be wrapped up.
I'm gonna say we'll definitely have time now. You know,
Yeah, we'll definitely have the time.
we're done college wise now, so we can hit a Monday episode if needs be. You know what I'm saying?
We can do that. I mean, I'm just
We can
saying
do that. We can do that.
because if they
So
take a weekend break of the NBA and then Monday comes and there's been no conference finals games, then we can wrap up everything. That would be
yeah,
quite nice.
yeah. I'm gonna say
NBA, make it happen. Fix the games. We know you. We know you can.
yeah, I think these next few games are going to be some of the more intriguing ones in the
100%.
NBA
100%.
playoffs so far.
So
Genuinely,
who do we think's going through to the finals then?
Golden State, Dallas.
Oh, hot
I did
take.
predict Phoenix at the start, and I won't be surprised if Phoenix go through. But Golden State, Dallas,
Okay.
and much as I hate to say it, Milwaukee, and you know what? I don't back Miami often enough, so I'll say Miami.
I think Miami have proved a lot of us wrong in these playoffs. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie, because
yeah,
we dissed them from the jump. Like we was like Atlanta is gonna kill them. Like
yeah. So make sure you're sticking tuned to whenever we upload next. We will let you guys know throughout the socials, which you should follow. Links in the
oh
description.
damn,
Most
that was
especially
nice.
our TikTok. Obviously, no
The
uploads
TikTok
last
is
week.
blowing up. You want to
No,
join
there
in?
wasn't any uploads last week. I was a bit busy, but hopefully I'll be able to get some clips from today. So yeah, make sure you're checking that out. All the links are in the description, and yeah, make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube. Make sure that you're sharing it out, no matter where you are. And me and Sully will see you guys in the future when the semi-finals are up. Peace.